how on earth can you sell landscaping work virtually? A lot has changed. Maybe you're at your home office now and you can't do the normal face-to-face thing with your landscaping prospects or customers. So how do you sell with technology? What's a good process that you can go through to make sure that your meetings are an absolute success? Well, for the last 3 years, I've been selling virtually, and I have a lot of great tips that are going to help you sell way more landscaping work in this strange time we're in. Stay tuned. Hey, what's up? It's Chad with Landscape Leadership. We help dozens of mid-sized lawn care and landscaping companies all across the country, both on the marketing and sales side. In the past, I've personally sold millions of dollars of landscaping work. The tips I'm going to give you today don't just work for me, a remote salesperson by profession. They're also going to work for you. How do you have a virtual sales meeting with prospects or clients? Well, whether you are a commercial landscaping company, a business developer at the beginning of these stages, or you're an estimator or account manager trying to sell upsells or pitch proposals for your clients or prospects, or if you are a design build salesperson or designer or landscape architect, this process is going to work for you. I'm going to show you tips of how you get ready for a virtual sales meeting and also what you do during that sales meeting and after in order to succeed. Ready? Before the meeting, step number 1, develop a call agenda. Now, when I have virtual sales meetings, I don't just wing it. I have a very planned out agenda. And what I do is I prepare this in a Google Doc and I store it with a bookmark on my browser. So when I start up a meeting, I refer to that as I go. Every meeting will flow exactly the same. Now, you may have an agenda for the first call that you have with a client, or maybe an agenda for when you present a proposal or something else, but the point is staying on track and making sure you get where you're aiming to go. Before the meeting, step number 2, limit your distractions. You need to do whatever you can to eliminate interruptions and distractions. That means that you probably need to have a spot in your virtual home office where you can shut the door and not be disturbed. It might mean that you tell people in your family, if you're all working from home right now and not in school, that you can't be disturbed in this period of time, or maybe just let them know that they need to keep the volume down. Also, try to eliminate distractions for your prospect. This is a little hard because it's hard to ask them, make sure you're not driving in the truck or trying to talk to people in your company when we're doing this, but set an expectation that you're going to cover important information with them and you want to make sure that you can both concentrate. Before the meeting, step number 3, investigate your prospect. You're going to look like a buffoon if you get on a virtual sales meeting and really don't understand who your prospect is and what they want. Look at the form they submitted on your website, maybe notes that the person that took the call took, or just do some research in general. You can find out a lot of information about people through their LinkedIn profiles, and you can look through the history of maybe what they did on your website if you have software that does that to know what pages they looked at and what kind of content was interesting to them. Those things are going to be really important to interject into your conversation. Before the meeting, step number 4, make scheduling meetings really easy. Going back and forth trying to find a time that suits you both is really annoying, not just for you, but also your prospect. It also wastes a lot of time and you're going to lose opportunities to even talk with these people. So get some sort of virtual calendar link that you can send them, that they can look at your calendar that syncs right up with that so that they can book a time, whether it's a 15-minute phone call or an hour presentation to present them with a huge plan and answer all their questions. Before the meeting, step number 5, communicate expectations. Now, there's quite a few expectations you will have and they will have. What I like to do is set an agenda through communicating these expectations via email before your meeting. Let them know what your intentions or goals are for this call, what the expectations are of them. So if you have certain pieces of information that they need to provide to you before you can have your meeting, hold fast to that and make sure you have a really productive call. And then people forget and they get busy. So send out a meeting reminder, maybe the day before, maybe even 15 minutes beforehand, so that you're not sitting waiting for them to jump on your virtual sales meeting. Before the meeting, step number 6, Be prepared and be ready. Make sure you have your presentation or any assets at your fingertips when you have your call. This means if these things are digital, you'll need to have them opened up on your computer, tabs open in your browser, whatever it is that you're going to need to reference. The last thing you need is to be hunting for things while you're trying to have meaningless banter back and forth. The other thing is it's really important to make sure that you're just ready with your technology. Make sure you know how to use this so you're not trying to figure out how to log in, get your audio up, how to do these sorts of things, and jump on your call about 5 minutes beforehand. If they happen to also be ready, just tell them that you'll be with them in about 5 minutes. You're just getting some information together. The point is don't make them wait or they're going to get really annoyed. During the meeting, step number 7, establish unique rapport. I don't know about you, but it's really annoying when people just kind of talk about the weather or just something random that most people talk about because they really don't have anything better to say. So see if there's pieces of information that you can reference while you're building rapport, maybe connections that you have. Maybe you have a mutual acquaintance, maybe they like the same football team as you, maybe they have a certain hobby, and reference that just for, maybe 30 seconds to a minute leading into your meeting to set them at ease and have some sort of personal connection. The point is give this some thought before you go into your virtual sales meeting. During the meeting, step number 8, set meeting goals. Now, we referenced earlier about how you have certain expectations going into the call that you're going to communicate before your virtual sales meeting. As soon as on your virtual sales meeting you finish building rapport in those first few minutes, make sure you tell them the goals again. Another thing that I really recommend is honoring their time. People are really busy, and the idea of a 30-minute phone call is a little scary because you're worried it might turn into a 45 or 50-minute phone call. Also, you have a lot of things to do as well. So you want to be respectful to both of your timetables and tell them, listen, my goal for the call today is to take no more than 30 minutes of your time. I just wanted to let you know that that's our goal and this is what we're going to accomplish. Trust me, they're going to really respect you for sticking to that timeline. During the meeting, step number 9, learn even more. Now, if you did a really good job collecting information from your prospect or customer before your sales meeting, you're going to have a lot of talking points that you don't need to waste time on banter about. And so those will often prompt follow-up questions, deeper questions, more explanation, and that is a great way to have a more meaningful, valuable conversation. The point is this, is that you have to plan for certain questions and then also leave room and watch for opportunities to ask them, tell me more about this. It's going to give you a lot of great information. It's going to make them feel very, very important during your virtual sales meeting. During the meeting, step number 10, connect solutions to goals and discovery. You're going to get to a point in your meeting where you're going to want to talk about what you have to offer, your solutions. When you do this, make sure you reference things that they've said both before your meeting and in your meeting about what their goals or challenges are. That makes a connection between your solution and it makes it natural for them to want to choose that. The other thing is at some point in time in this call or this video call, you're going to want to make sure that you assess that fit. That was one of your goals. And so you're going to have to be honest, whether you feel like you can meet their expectations or whether they're the right type of client or prospect account for you or project for you. And you have to really be honest. And at any point in time, don't just keep having a meeting for a meeting's sake. Make sure you tell them if there's a good fit or not. During the meeting, step number 11, get an agreement for next steps. There comes a natural part in the sales process where you got to ask for the sale. So you're either going to close the sale, offer them a proposal, and ask them if they're ready to digitally sign it, or you're going to talk about whatever the next steps are. The point is this, is that you need to reach an agreement, not be guessing at what you think they're going to do next. Ask them permission. Say, if I send this to you, is this something that you think you're ready to sign and go forward with? Or is there something else that I need to provide to you? Or is there a next step of exploratory discovery that you need to figure out certain things to get to that closing time in your sales process? The point is this, make sure you are in agreement because otherwise you're just going to waste a bunch of time with follow-up. After the meeting, step number 12, and this is the last one, send them a recap. Now, if you've done a good job of reaching the end of this virtual sales meeting and you've gained an agreement about what the next steps are, whether it's them signing a proposal or doing the next step in this process, set a timeline Have clear expectations and communicate that all in an email. Something like, hey, here are the 3 points that we talked about, or here's the proposal. I'm asking you to sign this, return it to me, and we'll start the work at this time frame. Or if I don't hear from you, I'm going to follow up in X amount of days. That way, at least you have an agreement. Everybody knows that you're on the same page, and they have it all in writing so that you can communicate it really clearly between the two of you. I know, that was a lot, and I just kind of skimmed the top of the surface about having virtual sales meetings for your landscaping company. I hope you learned a lot by this, and if you have any other questions, you want to talk about any of those specific tips with tools or even more detailed processes, please comment on this YouTube video or on social media where you see it posted. If you like videos like these and you want to see more in the future, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel or follow me on LinkedIn. Here's to selling way more landscaping work virtually. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.